everyone, I'm Elvira Kurt. I'm here with Alison Wearing. Here she's right here, but this is her book. This is the book she wrote, Alison Wearing. The title says it all, right? Confessions of a Fairy's Daughter.
Indeed.
So growing up with a gay dad.
Yeah.
How do you move from having that as part of your life and the stories that you tell to your intimate friends into, I'm going to write a book? Because it's your story.
Yeah.
But it's your dad's story too.
Yeah, I think 30 years helps. 35 years.
Right.
Yeah, because I was 12 when he came out, and so I spent my adolescence telling stories about what was happening, making up stories, making up lies to cover up the dancing pink elephant behind me that I couldn't reveal.
Okay.
In about 3 years ago, I started writing an essay, and I thought it'll just be a simple essay. It's because it's a story I've told my whole life, versions of it. It keeps changing as I get older.
Right.
And then I guess at one point it just got ripe, you know, and I realized this is ready to go out. So I got about halfway and then got a bit stuck and thought, you know, I don't really want to write any more about my perspective. There just seems to be, I need to give it some more depth and different angles on the same story. So I just approached my dad and said, you know, I'm thinking about writing more about about the history of the gay liberation movement that you were involved in when you were coming out. He said, well, you know, I have something that might be interesting for you. And he disappeared to his basement, and he came upstairs holding this box and said, you might want to look through this. And I looked at it, and immediately, you know, it just radiated treasure trove, you know, every writer's dream. And the first page I pulled out was a journal entry. And it said, last night I made it with a Roman Catholic priest. And then lots of detail.
Did you run immediately out of the house with the box?
Well, I knew.
Mine.
And immediately I knew, here's the book. Here's the rest of the book.
So Alison, for those who haven't read the book, tell us about your father's coming out. When did he first realize he was gay? When did he first come out to you?
He began exploring the idea that he might be gay with great trepidation in the late 70s. He read an article in the Globe and Mail that profiled Michael Lynch. And he was sort of the first gay dad who came out openly and in the media. I think it was in the Globe and Mail. My dad read that. It had a tremendous impact on him because he, of course, had wondered and wondered and wondered for many years. But this was the first time he saw someone with whom he could really relate. Michael Lynch was also a professor, about the same age, interested in music, and there he was, a gay dad. And that had such an impact that my dad then sought Michael out, and he was the first person that he said the words, I think I might be gay too. And so that was for him the moment. That was 1978, actually.
He did this privately. You didn't tell anyone in the region?
No, and then he had 2 years, which the box is full of. The box is full of those 2 years of searching and diaries and letters and clippings and things. So there were those 2 years where he was exploring and experimenting and trying to just find himself within this new context and this new world. And then my mother actually found that box. Yeah, that's how she learned. Gosh. Yeah. And then...
Do you remember that happening?
Oh, I didn't know that at the time, but then about 6 months later, I think, or maybe less, I don't know exactly what the timing was, she told me. I asked, why doesn't Dad live here much anymore? Because he had this apartment in Toronto and he was always coming and going. And why does he have to have an apartment in Toronto? And then she said, well, there are a lot of things about your father that you don't know. And I, like a teenager, said, like what? And she said, well, do you remember that time you went to Toronto and told me that Dad had taken you to a gay bar? And I don't remember having said that. And he didn't actually take me to a gay bar. He took me to a restaurant. And it was sort of a gay meeting place, and someone must have said to him, oh, you've brought your daughter to a gay bar or something. Because that went in and then out my mouth to my mother, but I had no understanding of even what that was. Because we didn't even have the word gay in Peterborough yet. Maybe I thought it was, you know, gay as in happy. I honestly don't know how much I understood. I don't think I knew very much, because I wouldn't have said that to her otherwise. So, What did I think? Well, I just knew it was bad news, but I had I knew it was bad news for the family, and that this was something I had to keep secret, because whatever he is exactly what kids are calling other kids on the playground, and they don't mean it nicely. So I just put those things together. And I guess the crude logistics, maybe I understood. I understood that it had something to do with boys kissing boys, and I knew that wasn't cool either in my world. So, but it was mostly confusion, and then just shock.
Right, so your father comes out, and then you end up going in the closet with everything that goes along with it, the shame. And
Yeah. So having a gay dad was always a fun experience, but having a gay dad in a world that didn't allow for a gay dad, that was the tough part.
Right. Well, you're out now, and you're looking happy.
Thanks.
In every sense of the word.
Thank you.
And they have that word in Peterborough now.